Ugh, ads are such poop. Subscribe to Acast Plus now to skip ads and more for just $1 a month. Click the link in our show notes to learn how. And hey, we're on Patreon too. Your support helps cover the cost of running a podcast. For $2 a month, you can get early access to all our episodes ad-free, plus bonus episodes exclusive to Patreon subscribers only. Visit patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse to sign up now. Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys?
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it. Husband.
Wife.
Do you remember what happened on Friday?
I think Jehoshaphat, he questioned God, sort of, in some way, something.
He did, but he didn't get smote or nothing.
No, that was what was concerning, is that
right.
God's lack of smoting and smiting.
Right.
And smitishness.
But at the end, Eleazar was like, because you allied yourself with King Ahaziah, the Lord will destroy your work. And then all his ships,
that's right.
crashed and melted.
Yeah,
or
God sunk his battleship.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yep.
That's some crap, man.
Yeah. Eleazar was like, you're out.
God's kind of a dick.
God is a dick. But
Just saying, I don't want him to sink my battleship.
But to be fair, Jehoshaphat was stupid.
Well, I mean, yeah. I guess. Whatever.
Right.
My guess is that he just built shitty ships, or somebody else sunk them. I'm not really sure, but something happened.
Baby, you can sink my battleship all day. I got you pegged. You can peg me. What?
On that note, that was 2 Chronicles chapter 20.
It sure as fuck was.
And today we will be reading
2 Chronicles chapter 21.
Let's go do this.
Okie dokie. This is my favorite part. Ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
When Jehoshaphat died, he dead.
That's your favorite part?
When one dies, and then we have to read about the next
Usually
one.
they do it at the end of a chapter, or end of a chapters thing.
Yep.
So that's weird that they waited till the beginning of a chapter to kill him off.
Well, again, it's somebody cut these up into stupid places.
That's true.
And they didn't ask our opinion.
Right.
They
should have. They should have asked our opinion.
Better editor. Bible needs a better editor.
What the fuck?
What?
You creating a song for an editor for the Bible?
Yeah.
Okay.
The job position.
It's open.
It's open.
Needs filled.
Yep.
Needs to be filled.
Needs filled, Ohio.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Jehoshaphat died, right?
Yep, he died.
And he was buried with his ancestors in the city of David.
Could have guessed that.
Right?
Yep.
Everybody's buried in the city of David.
Lot of dead people there.
Lots of skeletons in that
City.
tabernacle. Then his son Jehoram became the next king.
Good old Jehoram.
Jehoram's brothers, the other sons of Jehoshaphat, were Azariah, Jehiel, Zechariah, Azariah, Michael, and Shephatiah. And all of these were the sons of Jehoshaphat, king of Judah.
Got it.
Okay?
Yep.
I said Jehoshaphat, but it's Jehoshaphat. Yeah, sorry. That reminds me. I did look up where did Jumpin' Jehoshaphat come from.
Yeah.
Nobody fucking knows.
Yeah.
But it's most likely...
We looked that up in another Q&A a while back.
I don't think we did, sir.
We did.
I don't think we did.
Okay.
Because the only place that it might have come from is people trying to make up non-cussing cuss words.
Yeah. No, I know. We covered that in another Q&A.
I have no recollection of that whatsoever. Well, anyway... Those guys, their father had given each of them valuable gifts of silver, gold, and costly items.
Okay.
And also some of Judah's fortified towns.
Got it.
I'll give you a town, give you some silver, whatever.
Somebody give me a town.
I don't want a town.
You don't want a town?
I don't want to be in charge of that shit.
Okay.
Fuck those people.
You can always resell it.
Fuck that town.
You resell it and get yourself a cottage out in the country, you know?
I'm going to buy a castle.
You want a castle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't you think that'd be a little bit drafty?
Not my room.
No?
No, I'll have lots of tapestries and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And also space heaters and...
Got it.
It'll be the best room in the castle.
Okay. All right.
Okay?
Yep.
However, he designated Jehoram as the next king because, of course, he was the oldest.
Right.
And everybody knows that the oldest always gets the top bump.
Right, definitely.
But when Jehoram had become solidly established as king, he killed all his brothers and some of the other leaders of Judah.
Oh, fuck.
I don't remember that.
I bet his dad wouldn't have been pleased if he'd have known he was going to do that.
Right? Like, just in case.
Yeah.
Jehoram was 32 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 8 years. But Jehoram followed the examples of the kings of Israel and was as wicked as King Ahab, for he had married one of Ahab's daughters.
Oh, man. Just by marrying one of his daughters makes you wicked as the guy.
You know how girls are. They're going to lead you astray and make you eat apples and shit.
Right.
You know,
right,
they're
yeah.
bad, bad.
Especially those Ahab daughters, you know.
They are so...
Ahab was the guy that wasn't he the one that went to war with Jehoshaphat?
I think so.
And like he was asking the other prophets advice, right?
Yeah. So Jehoram did what was evil in the Lord's sight.
Of course.
But the Lord did not want to destroy David's dynasty, for he had made a covenant with David and promised that his descendants would continue to rule, shining like a lamp forever, you know.
Can't break that promise to David, who's dead.
Right.
Yeah.
During Jehoram's reign, the Edomites revolted against Judah and crowned their own king. So Jehoram went out with his full army and all his chariots. The Edomites surrounded him and his chariot commanders, but he went out at night and attacked them under cover of darkness, because back then they were stupid.
Yeah, right.
And they were like, nobody will attack at night.
And God let him win because he needed to preserve David's line?
I think God was like, you do you.
Okay.
If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose.
Well, but if he's worried about preserving his line, he needs to make sure he has a kid, right?
I guess. I don't know.
Before he kills him?
I don't know or care. Did it have to be his? I mean, it could have been one of the other boys had a kid before he died.
I suppose that could be too, yeah.
Even so, Edom has been independent from Judah to this day.
To this day, damn.
The town of Libnah also revolted about that same time. All this happened because Jehoram had abandoned the Lord, the God of his ancestors.
Or he was a murderous fuck who was killing people left and right.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that sounds more likely. I don't know if that had anything to do with abandoning the Lord, other than he was just a murderous fuck.
Right.
You know,
like most of them were back then.
Right.
Apparently.
So, yeah, a good number of them anyway.
Right. He had built pagan shrines in the hill country of Judah.
Well, that'll do it.
And had led the people of Jerusalem and Judah to give themselves to pagan gods and to go astray.
Man, how did Jehoshaphat let his son come to this?
He left it to his oldest son, who was a murdery pagan.
You're telling me that before Jehoshaphat died, he had no inkling that his son was this way,
right?
Is that what you're telling me?
Apparently.
Like, he's worshiping pagan gods, and he murdered all of Jehoshaphat's sons, his brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, like...
And Jehoshaphat had no clue this was coming.
Right. I mean, you would have seen a little bit of a sign of, like, you know, psychopath in him or something, you know? It's
almost like these people had, like, no ability to look objectively at their children and be like, I love you, but you are one sick son of a bitch.
Right. Maybe we're gonna go down a notch on this line of succession here, because.
But you know what? Think about it. People today are just like that. They're like, my son could never.
I mean, that's true. The oldest is definitely privileged in some ways, for sure.
And fathers cannot see the ill in their sons. They refuse to.
I don't know about that, but
I know plenty of guys whose adult sons are complete and utter garbage.
Right.
I know one whose son was a fucking drug addict, piece of shit, and that father is like, he's a good kid.
Yeah.
Was he? Was he? Okay.
Right.
Then Elijah the prophet wrote Jehoram this letter. This is what the Lord, the God of your ancestor David, says. You have not followed the good example of your father Jehoshaphat or your grandfather King Asa of Judah.
He probably knew that as he was killing his brothers. I'm just guessing.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So.
Instead, the letter continued, you have been as evil as the kings of Israel. You have led the people of Jerusalem and Judah to worship idols, just as King Ahab did in Israel.
Yeah.
And you have even killed your own brothers. Did you know that?
I mean,
men who were better than you.
Wow.
So now the Lord is about to strike you, your people, your children, your wives, and all that is yours with a heavy blow, because God is a really vindictive son of a bitch sometimes.
Well, I mean, they're making him sound good here because this guy's obviously a dick.
Right.
Like, according to how it's written in here.
Okay, but really? God's going to punish everybody around you? Maybe
right. I've never liked that. That's
his
some
wives,
bullshit.
his children, his people. Like, wait, hold on. Can I...
They probably didn't have much of a choice in this.
Yeah. Can I just get a character reference on these people real quick?
Yeah.
I want to read their rap sheet before I go and just,
Kill them.
Yeah. You yourself, the letter continued, will suffer with a severe intestinal disease that will get worse each day until your bowels come out.
Oh my God.
You are literally going to shit your butthole out.
Right.
You are going to have a prolapsed anus.
Like, this guy is just calling it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Then the Lord stirred up the Philistines and the Arabs who lived near the Ethiopians to attack Jehoram. Boom, that happened. They marched against Judah, broke down its defenses, and carried away everything of value in the royal palace, including the king's sons and wives.
Wait, God's trying to preserve the line of David, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Only his youngest son, Ahaziah, was spared.
Oh.
After all this, the Lord struck Jehoram with an incurable intestinal disease. You got to know I'll be looking that up. The disease grew worse and worse. And at the end of it, 2 years, it caused his bowels to come out. And he died in agony.
Dude shit himself to death.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
He had a prolapsed anus.
Yeah.
His people did not build a great funeral fire to honor him as they had done for his ancestors.
No.
Because that fire was going to smell like poopy.
Question is, though, right?
Have you ever smelled burned poopy?
It's not good. It's not good.
Mm-mm.
Although, some people use, and this is a thing, you can use, like, frozen cow dung as a fire starter.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it's not that uncommon. Like, that's something that people do in the winter.
That is something Ohio does.
Well, I'm just saying, it's a thing.
It is a thing. Did you know that you can also, they're called cow chips.
That's basically frozen cow dung.
Okay, I'm not done yet.
Oh, okay.
Did you know that there are contests where you take these frozen cow dung, these cow chips, and you create great pieces of art with them?
That's really gross.
I know, right?
It's like sandcastles for shit people.
It literally, that is what it is. They make these pieces of art, like ceramics, like...
Oh.
Yeah. Only it's shit instead of ceramic.
Man, what? Why?
But it's not mushy.
Why?
It's solid. It becomes a solid, like you could put it on your shelf,
Yeah, yeah.
And people are like, oh, that's a neat piece of art. And you're like, yeah, it's fucking shit. It's shit. There's shit on my shelf.
Right. That's gross.
Right?
That's not okay.
That's a thing. There are contests.
What if it got really hot in your house? Like the air conditioner went out one day? It got really hot in your house?
You put it under the heater. Oh, that's going to be nasty. Oh my God.
You got some poopery.
I just had the most brilliant idea. I'm going to send a cow chip, like a piece of decorated cow chip art to somebody that I really hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
That is a great idea.
It's inspired. Yeah.
Okay. His people did not build a great funeral fire to honor him as they had done for his ancestors.
But the question is, did they bury him in the city of David?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't even say.
Maybe they just tossed him aside and threw him in a ditch.
Jehoram was 32 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 8 years. No one was sorry when he died.
Is that what it says?
They buried him in the city of David, but not in the royal cemetery. The end.
We'll show you. You get to be buried in the same city as all the rest of the kings, but not in the royal cemetery.
You get to be buried over here, you son of a bitch. Yeah.
That'll show him.
He
learned his lesson in death there, for sure.
He did. I know. He's mad. He's spinning in his non-royal cemetery grave.
Right? Yeah.
Bad king. That's all I got.
That's all I got too.
I made you laugh. That's all I got.
All right. That was 2 Chronicles chapter 21.
Sure as fuck was.
And we'll be back tomorrow with
2 Chronicles chapter 22, hopefully shitless.
Right. We'll see you guys then.
Bye!
Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.